Oh, what is going on, racers? Welcome to another edition of the Northwest Race Report. I am your horsepower and performance host, Terry Bridges. Sitting alongside me is my main man, the man I'm always kicking it with here Wednesday night, Glenn Lippy Tower. What's going on, Lip?
It's all good in the hood tonight. The sun's out, and we're enjoying some warm weather.
Can anybody beat Suchich? Dude is P1 again.
Dang it.
Dude is on a roll. Sean Carr in the runner-up spot, and Rusty Rossmeyer rounds out the podium. Dan Watkins fourth. Scott Kinney fifth. Right on. Hey, we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about fire suits. And the numbers, I mean, I think I've got some numbers here that are going to shock you. And we're going to tell you a little bit about how they came to be. We're going to talk about, I'm going to give you 10 tips to be a smarter racer that are actually going to help your lap times, I believe. How does that work? Well, you got to put them into practice. So we've also got Lapping with Lippy. Lippy, what do you got?
Tonight we're going to be talking about stewards. We are the stewards of our sport. So that's what I'll be talking about tonight.
Yeah, and our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest, I'm excited to have him on. A 31-year-old driver. He is the defending Outlaw Super Series champion. His name is Jason Majors. I think you'll get a kick out of him. This will be my first time really getting to know him, so I'm excited about that. He'll be coming up about the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to talk schedules. We're going to talk all kinds of cool stuff, as usual. So let's rock and roll this bad boy.
Let's get started.
And tonight, since we don't have a ton of results, our In the News is brought to you by Wicked Fabrication in Auburn, Washington. Wicked Fab, since 2002, been giving hot rodders the finest in hot rod fabrication, auto fabrication, some of the best there is. Craig Wick is a great guy. Wicked Fab, Auburn, Washington. Check him out on Facebook or check him out on the web, www.wickedfab.com. Well, let's see. Well, here's the big news. Kickoff for the Northwest Gold Cup is this weekend. I think everybody's heading out tomorrow. It's down in Medford, Jackson County Sports Park. It's going to be going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you've never been there, it used to be what's known as the Super Speedway of go-karts. It was huge. It was about a minute long. It's a little quicker than that now, but you got to be in the 54, 55-second bracket. But, yeah, so looks like they're going to get some good weather down there, which is kind of nice. I don't think they get much rain in Medford, do they?
No, not well. It's a good season.
Right. So it's a good thing. Usually when they start out up here in April, although this weekend probably, well, I don't know. We haven't got to Saturday yet. It's supposed to start raining a little bit on Saturday. So anyway, the Northwest Gold Cup will be down there kicking it. So best of luck to all the Gold Cuppers heading down. I know Ray Smith and his son, Smith Motorsports, they're heading down. Racing Mason. I mean, there's just going to be a host of them going down there. So good luck to all of them. I wish I was going. Be cool to call that. But, hey, that's the way it goes, right? Oregon Two-Stroke Series coming up on April 17th. That will be the season opener for that series. And they're going to have shifters, which I like. Shifter light, shifter heavy. There's no more this S1, S2, whatever. You're either heavy or you're light. Run what you brung, and they'll find a place for you. Also, PRDs and the old, anything two-stroke, tag motors, Rotax, all the outdated stuff. You're welcome to run there. That's the cool thing about that. Oh, JP Carty checking in. Craig Collins in the house. So, that's the cool thing. Some of those older motors that maybe they can't run now, and they're legal here. So they'll find a place for them to run.
Awesome, yeah. Bring it out of the garage.
Yeah. I mean, so there's no reason now, guys, if you've got a Rotax or an old motor, an old tag or something, man, go run it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to have some cool prizes. They're going to have, it's just going to be a bunch of guys getting together. They're going to kind of do it where they all kind of pit together.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? And try to get some camaraderie going there.
They're bringing the fun factor back in.
There you go.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like it.
That 3-letter word.
What it should be, fun.
Right. But instead, it's the other word that starts with that F. and, and it's 4 letters. So good for them. I think that's a good deal.
Who's putting that on? Is that Word?
Yeah, that's Randy Word's new series.
Nice. I like that guy. He's such a stand-up
He
gentleman.
He certainly is. So that's what's going on. If you want more info, you can go about the Gold Cup. You can go to SoCarter, Check it out. Check some pictures out there. What do you got on your schedule?
Looks like Tri-Cities is going to be taking off on April 10th. Then their next club race is going to be April 24th. So get out there, support them, and have some fun out in Tri-Cities. Salem's kicking off also with their Albany deal on the 9th. So get down there and get some laps in with Albany, and keep your eyes and ears open. Shane Smith's working on his KT F200 class. He's announced his first date for sure is going to be at Albany on April 30th, along with the UAS guys down there. But keep following him. He's coming up with at least 3 more race dates after that. So that's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that. I think the 9th is the first quarter point race. I do believe. But I'll confirm that. And so, Lip, what else you got?
Well, there's plenty of other stuff going on out there. It's just a matter of people, finding it on the internet and getting it going on. There's plenty of races to be had this summer. So, we'll putting them up on our website, Salem's website, Terry's website. Everybody's going to be putting this stuff up to, let everybody know where the races are going to be, and get out and support the local tracks and local clubs and get some racing on.
Yeah, if you go to terrybridges.com, I've got a page there that I made. It's called Find a Race, and it's got the Cascade Karting Association schedule on there. It's got the Unlimited All-Star schedule on there. I've got to get Salem's up on there. But you can just go there, check it, click on the page. You'll see it on the drop-down. And then just choose it. And it'll tell you where it is, who the contacts are. I'm trying to put it as informative as I can. So
wish I had more time to do that stuff for you or with you, but I'm sorry. But
no, man.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
It's all good, yeah. And I think, Strebby's doing it too. So
nice. He's an asset.
Yeah, so he's there. So, hey, guys, there's plenty of stuff to be going on in the next couple weeks, I'm sure. So how about you guys? I mean, I don't get much from the Cage Kart guys. I wish I got more on their schedule, but, I know they're down at, well, I don't know if they're doing much Red Bluff. I think that's done now, but Cycle Land getting ready to kick off. I know the NorCal Series, Ford Cook and his gang down there, getting ready to do some cool stuff there. They're going to be at Cycle Land. I think they open up on the 9th because I saw Diotti was getting ready to head down.
Jason says not the 9th. Albany is the 16th.
What? So they changed it?
Well, I'm just looking.
Because I'm pretty confident I went. It's not the 6th. It was the April 9th, I thought, was the
Jason says not the 9th of Albany. The 16th is the first race. So maybe that is the first points race, and there may be a practice on the 9th. I'm not quite sure on that one. I'm just reading what he's putting up. So
I could have swore it was the 9th. Oh, well, okay. So the 16th will be the opener. I'm going to go back and check my schedule because I'm sure the 9th was on there. But
Brian Rushing in the house, another number 29.
Yeah, baby, Spin Cycle Racing. Brent Meyer made it.
Woo!
So I'll be interested to see what Meyer's plans are doing. He had a good shot at winning that deal last year. I think if he would have made every race, he would have been right there in contention for that Yamaha series.
Brian Susich in the house. Yeah, Brent Meyer, he had some motor issues, so that's what slowed him down. He had a great momentum out of the gate and did great early on, but then he had some motor issues and had to get it rebuilt, and it slowed his program down, but I believe he's got it all done now and back on his cart, so he was running some borrowed motors towards the end of the season, so look for him to be up front this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you can do that. Somebody go to my webpage and look up the Northwest UAS schedule, because I am sure, I'm almost positive. I don't know, because I know I made that schedule right when it came out. Right,
their first race is the 30th, the same as Shane Smith's running the KT F200 class down there. So he's kind of trying to follow that around for the first 3 races. So I'm sure that the first UAS race at Albany is on the 30th.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, anyway, neither here nor there.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we certainly will. And I want to get this in before we go any further.
Ask any racer and they'll tell you, crashing sucks. And the only thing worse than crashing is lousy customer service. The staff at O'Hagan's Carts and Supplies are racers themselves and are committed to giving you the kind of service that you need to get your stuff quickly and easily. With their good old-fashioned race shop service, quality parts and safety accessories, and custom fab shop, O'Hagan's is committed to getting you back on the racetrack fast. You want to win. O'Hagan's wants to help. O'Hagan's Carts and Supplies.
And that has changed a little bit.
Lebanon, Oregon,
says Lippy. So, yes, indeed. Big shout-out to O'Hagan's.
Definitely. Those guys have been working hard.
They have. And it's, it's super awesome to have them up here now. I mean, I know he was just a huge asset for the Cage Cup, for sure.
So. Oh, yeah. Just all winter long, he did a phenomenal job down there, working the corners, flagging. Between him and Jason, they both did quite a bit of, what would you call that?
Race directing, I guess.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Race directing. He doesn't have a dog in any fight, so he is very equal-handed in his decisions, and he always wants to see the right thing come through. So hats off to O'Hagan and all they do.
Yes, and I stand corrected. Jason Suchich. I should never question the master. Saturday, April 30th, that's the first quarter point race for the Unlimited All-Stars.
Yes.
That's at Albany Motorsports Park. The second race is May 28th. That's that's going to be at Strataline for the UAS guys. Rainier, June 4th, and then July 9th will be the second quarter point race and the final quarter point race or the final race for the Unlimited All-Stars, other than the Betty Boops and some of the other local things. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Speaking of Unlimited All-Stars, since we got some time and we didn't get to talk about it last week, Kevin Bridges and Ronnie Cox took their 2 Unlimited All-Star machines up to Evergreen Speedway.
Asphalt.
And they put them on the 3/8. I don't know. Hopefully everybody saw the video. If not, you can go to Kevin Bridges' Facebook page. He has it on there. It's a link to YouTube. But I want to tell you what.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, wow was an understatement. And get this, guys. They weren't even geared right. And, I mean, it's still wicked. I mean, you watch Ronnie go, and, I mean, when he lays in the throttle, that thing just vanishes. I mean, well, I think Jason saw it, and Suchich goes, wow. I mean, he couldn't believe it, because Ronnie would just disappear, right? And so I think it opened up some eyes,
Well, definitely. They were there testing, because I think what Ronnie's working on is he wants to try and run a race there, or at least an exhibition during some of their modified races up there at Monroe. So, and if I'm not mistaken, they were running a little faster than the modifieds were there. So, turning some great laps. They had some really good fun. Kevin, I think, even made the mention that it made things pucker for him. So, they're traveling at some high rates of speed there, definitely.
Now, do you foresee that as potentially a something that would be a cool thing to add to the schedule?
I don't think you're going to see Ronnie add it to his schedule as far as a quarter-point race or anything like that. It's just strictly going to be exhibition. And I'm sure they're looking for a few more carts to bring it up to around 6 or 8 as far as what they want to put on. And they're just wanting to put on a decent show and decent lap times to fill some time at the track there when the downtime is between the modified races, which is a great exposure for us and
Absolutely
what people
it is.
need to see, because I don't think those people understand what I would say under the hood, but what we got going on. So hats off to Ronnie. He's working his butt off up there trying to get some more exposure for us and for the UAS, and it's coming around, and hopefully it happens. It was some great laps they put in on a great racetrack.
Yeah.
So.
And for those of you that have never been to Rainier, it's a cool place. You need to experience it once. It's different. I think it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels different than any place we go.
The biggest thing about Rainier is it's a bowl. It's down in a bowl. And that's what makes Rainier so great. For one, the moisture's down there in the bowl. And the second thing is the grandstands are up above it looking down into it. And it is truly a flat track. And for us, that equalizes the whole field as far as being a racy track, and it eliminates the single groove.
It is racy, for sure.
There's 2 grooves, maybe 3 there, if you can get a hold of it. And it's so different than we're all used to. So, Rainier is a great deal. We have a new promoter there this year, so I hope everything goes well. That should be one of Shane Smith's KT 100 F200 classes, so I'll be there for that because I can't afford a UAS yet, but I'm looking forward to the Rainier deal.
Oh, yeah. One time I'll be there because that's his racetrack.
Yeah.
He's won there several times, and he's really, really good there. So
he shines.
Yeah, he does. So if you can imagine a paperclip, that's kind of what this is. Long straightaways and tight corners, and but it is racy. So those of you that are thinking about going, don't hang on the fence, man. Show up down there because you'll have the time of your life there. I guarantee you, it's awesome. So, Josh Cully, what's going on, my man?
Idaho.
Yeah, I think they're having a practice this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, over there at OMC. They're having an open practice, I do believe. I thought I saw that on Facebook. I wish those guys would send me some stuff, like schedules and practice stuff, because I can get it out on the show, get it on my site. So, Josh, let them know, we can do that, right?
Get that to Terry Bridges, and we will promote you. You guys are doing a great job over there, and we want to support you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know if the Snake River Carters are going to be doing anything on the asphalt. I know they've got that thing there, and they did some. They had a little tryout deal last year. I don't know that it was a huge success, but. Ronnie went and took him up to Evergreen. So I don't know, maybe it'd be something worth a few guys heading over anyway and just giving it a shot. That's the only way we're going to know if it's, feasible or not, right?
Definitely, yeah. Sean Carr just chimed in. Rainier is a great challenge for setup. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Boy, howdy.
Boy, absolutely. But one time's got it figured out.
One time does. The rest of us are all searching for it.
Absolutely. Well, we promised you before we get going on with Jason Majors coming at the 7 o'clock hour, when you guys are going out and you're looking at getting a new driving suit, whatever, I don't know if you really think about what you're getting. Now, some of this, the first half of this is for the asphalt guys that are contained in the cars, where fire is an issue. Obviously, karting, there's a little bit of fire safety there, but not a I mean, not a ton, right? I mean, not one that you're going to...
Yeah,
I mean,
we still haul fuel around with us, which is highly volatile, and it is mostly between our legs, except for in the Predator class, where it's just over our shoulder. So there's definitely the issue there of fuel and fire. It doesn't matter whether you're asphalt or dirt. So it's definitely something to be talked about and understood why we buy what we buy.
Yeah. So this is how it went down. 1971, they did it for firemen mainly on protective ensembles for structural firefighting. So the gear that they wore, but it was and it was measured by the thickness of the gear's 3 layers: the outer shell, the thermal barrier, and the moisture barrier. But in '86, there was a new technology introduced that allowed us to measure at a rate which included radiant and convective heat transfer through 3 layers of that same fabric that would produce a 2nd-degree burn on the skin. Not a 3rd, but a 2nd. Okay? So, and that's called the TPP test. And as a result, thicknesses of turnouts were no longer considered an effective measure of a garment's level of protection. So simply stated, the TPP test is an apparatus, is a bench top configuration. It's got 2 burners on it that provide convective and radiant heat, and then a bank of quartz tubes that provide the additional radiant heat. And then there's 3 layers of a composite sample as a 6-inch square. Heat is applied at a rate of 84 kilowatts per minute, and the heat transfer is measured by a copper... What is that? A calorimeter? Calorimeter. And so how this works is what they do is, here's the crazy thing. So they turn this thing up, and a fire suit has to have, its critical layer is, it's got to be 41 degrees Celsius for 11 to 12 seconds at a temperature of 600 to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. So to give you an idea of how important this stuff is, 600 to 800 degrees Celsius is 1112 to 1472 degrees Fahrenheit.
Damn.
And inside that suit, it's got to remain 105.8 degrees for 11 seconds with that heat on there. So, guys, I'm telling you, when you're checking that out, you need to be making sure you're paying attention to what you're buying. If you buy a TPP6, which is a pretty thin suit, it gives you 3 seconds before that burn happens. Now, this is a 2nd-degree burn I'm telling you about. If you get a TPP14, it's 7 seconds. A TPP19 is 10. A 38 is 19. And then you jump all the way up to an 80, and that gives you 40 seconds. Now, remember, the higher you go in TPP, the heavier and a little bit bulkier the suit is.
Definitely. So
usually, most of them, I think, are around the 20 to 30 range for the driving suits. But there again, good quality clothing makes all the difference. So make sure you understand that when you're going to get a fire suit. For the asphalt guys, they're more like the road race guys. So what do they have? Well, their priorities are, will this save my skin? When you meet the pavement unexpected, I'm going to tell you, there's 3 things that you got to have. You got to have impact protection, you got to have abrasion strength, and you got to have tear strength. So look for the pliable and dense foam padding inserts for impact protection. Look for good safety lock stitching, and your gear is only as strong as it seems. So a simple fall at 30 miles an hour can subject your clothing to more than 30 pounds of tearing force. So you want to make sure that you're choosing a fabric that offers both tear and abrasion strength. Nylon is the worst. It's nothing. Stay away from that. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, stay away from that. There's no ifs about it. Just do it. Leather, we all know leather. It's been pretty standard in the bike stuff for years. But there again, the best way to tell if leather is high quality is look at the price tag. I mean, good leather costs more, and that is typically passed on to you, the consumer. So, don't skimp on this. But you do have to wear leather a little bit more snug because when leather folds, its tear strength decreases. Also, you don't want to get it wet because it loses flexibility over time, and each time it gets wet and dries, it can lose up to 20% of its strength. So,
wow.
You know, I watch these guys all the time. They take care of their helmets that way, their suits this way. They're dirty, they're filthy. They throw them down. They're working in them. Guys, that's not really proper stuff. You should have them dry cleaned. You shouldn't be washing them. I know the fire suits are that way. And if you simply absolutely have to do it, you should wash it by hand in cool water with Woolite or something that isn't that's safe for all fabrics and whatnot. So yes, but the big one is Kevlar. It's the only one. Kevlar and leather are the only suits that are approved for road racing, at least on the bike side. So I think we're safe to say if a road race guy can wear it, wouldn't you say a karting road race guy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're subject to a lot more abrasive than we are.
Right. So anyway, and just to give you a little quick idea how this is going to go is cotton jeans tear at 4.5 pounds.
Ouch. And
will fail at 50 abrasion cycles. So I think that's boom as you hit bump. So 70 denier nylon also tears at 4.5 pounds. But it lasts 165 cycles. 500 denier polyester tears at 8 pounds and lasts 180, and it goes up. Cordura and Kevlar are the best mix you can get. That is by far the best. And I'm going to tell you that Kevlar and the Cordura together are so strong that it needs 4,200 pounds of force to tear, and it also holds up well to the pavement abrasions, not failing for about 1,800 cycles. So I'll find out what a cycle is. I'm sure, I don't know if that's a hit or what they actually meant by a cycle. They didn't clarify that, but that's what's going on there. So when you're going to get a suit, man, pay attention on what you're getting,
Yeah. Thanks, Terry. I just went and bought a nylon jacket because mine got stolen, and now I see that I should have bought a Cordura instead of a polyester.
Yes, you should. Maybe you can.
I already burned the damn thing, so, thanks for that. But at least I know now that I know what I'm looking for, and with this information, I can make my next purchase, better.
And you're right, Daryl Kelso. It is PPE, the stuff that you're buying, but the TPP is the actual test that they do on the PPE that gives us lets us know the 32A 10 or 15 or whatever it is. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. So I thought
that is great information.
I thought I'd share it.
I wish I would have had it a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So later on in the show, we'll give you your 10 tips to better mental lap times. Just about 7 o'clock. We're waiting on Jason Majors. He's our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest tonight. And Blue Line is doing some awesome stuff. I think he got with Wes Snow, and he's going to be doing some designs for Wes's glass. Hey, what'd you guys think of the story? I did the interview with
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, pretty cool. I thought it was all right.
Been so stinking busy.
So Wes is doing some good things. But Blue Line Graphics is tearing it up, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They got some great stuff out there. I've seen several of their wraps lately, and they are just off the hook with their innovation and what they're putting into this stuff. It's all heart and plenty of bling. So, if that's what you want, then get a hold of BLG Brian over there and tell him what you want, or just let him go with his artistic side, and you will be happy with what you get.
Guaranteed. What's up, Mike Shorn? All right. Mike Shorn in the house. I think, are you guys going down to the Gold Cup?
Waiting for the answer.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, we'll find out here. So we're waiting on Jason Majors to give us a call, and we'll find out what's shaking. I don't think he's already called. I doubt it.
No, I didn't hear any beep beep in my ear, so we're good there.
Let's see here. No, I haven't seen it. So, but anyway, yeah. that's what's going on. BLG's killing it right there. To give you a little insight on our guest tonight, he's 31 years old, and his name is Jason Majors. Started racing at Spanaway Speedway when he was 16, and he's crewed for some pretty good cats, let me just say. His dad, not with his dad, but with his dad, Jay Sauls. So Jay Sauls is not his dad. That's who he crewed for. And then he crewed with Jay Sauls and his dad, Mike, over the years. And then
Sauls is a good family.
Yes, they are.
Yes,
they are. They're very good. And his first season with the Northwest Pro Trucks, he had 9 wins, 4 track records, and he was Rookie of the Year. That's pretty...
That's impressive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, looking forward to... he's late. I'm not sure. That seems kind of weird here.
Michael is planning on going to Medford.
Good deal.
He's still in Phoenix and getting ready to fly home right now.
Oh, right on. Well, I'll tell you, his son David is quite good. He's an IKF expert, and so if he's going down, it should be pretty good. So
those IKF guys, they seem to have quite the following around them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna see here what's going on. I'll see if I can get Jason on the phone here.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Well, apparently he's not there.
He's a little bit busy.
Apparently so. So anyway, well then we'll move on.
Yes, we will.
We'll hit it on up, and let's see here. We're gonna do some lapping with Lippy.
It's a little early, but thank you, Terry. Tonight's Lapping with Lippy is brought to you by Scott Seal Coat. The sun's out. The parking lots are dry, so if you need your parking lot striped or sealed, give Scott Seal Coat a call, and we'll get out there and seal it or stripe it, whatever you need. You need to get a hold of him now because the sun is out, and his... schedule is busy, so if you want to get on it, get a hold of Scott Seal Coat, and we'll get out there and get it sealed or striped. So tonight, I want to talk to everybody about the sport we love. You have heard all the sayings out there, you're in charge of your own happiness or your own destination. Well, that's true about our sport as well. We are all stewards of our sport. It's up to us to find new people and keep the ones we have. The sport is not going to do that for us. So keep your eyes open. And when you see a person standing on the outside of your pit looking in, go talk to them. Ask them, if there's anything they have questions about. And take the time with the people that are standing there to explain what you do and why you do it and what you do. This is where new people come from. If you're just over there with your head buried in and really not paying attention, you're gonna miss some of that stuff, and that's not what keeps our sport going. So, be mindful of what's around you and the people that are around you. And also, when you have new people show up with carts, look after them. It's not easy out there. Let's face it, the sport is not easy these days. But if you get them out there on the right track early, you can keep them. They don't get frustrated and give up. And that's what we don't want is for them to get frustrated and give up, because our sport is tough. You know, back in the day, it was real easy to put 4 tires on, fuel in the tank, go out there and have a good time, and it's just not that way anymore. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. It's setup, it's tires, it's everything else. And if we can help them people along that come in to try and have a little bit of fun and get them on the right track so that they can continue to have fun, if they just end up being back markers or can't make a decent lap, they're gonna get frustrated and give up. So don't let that happen. You know, step in, give them some help. It's usually not that hard to tell what they're doing wrong and lead them in the right direction. One thing as a club we try to do is open track time after our races are all done. That's when we try to get new people in our own carts to make some laps. I like to call it setting the hook. You know, once you do that and you get them out onto the track and they make a few laps and have a good time in a well set up cart, it's not hard to set that hook and get them to make the next step to buy a cart and get out there and mix it up with us. This is also a great time to work with people that already have a cart but may be struggling a little bit. You know, you need to step in and try and teach them a little bit and get them going in the right direction. Get them to drive it into that corner a little bit harder, because that's usually what the problem is they're just a little bit scared of it because they're new at it. So, you know, spend some time with them and teach them how to get it into the corner and out of the corner and what to wait for and what to feel for and that kind of stuff that, you know, us seasoned people already deal with. And they like to see us out there racing and doing what it takes to get up front. They want to do that. They just don't know how to get there. And it's up to us to explain that stuff to them and help them to do it. If we don't, nobody will. And again, it goes back to the same thing. They're going to get frustrated and they're going to go away. And that's not what we want. So, you know, stay with it and watch for these people. These are all things that will help our sport grow, and that is what we need. Nobody can do this but us. So be friendly and helpful and, you know, look out for other people. So, you know, that's really what today's message is be helpful and thankful. Okay, on a side note, let's also not forget about our helmet rule. I'm going to keep hammering this one, you guys. This is our last year of using the 2005 Snell-rated helmets. If you have something that's older than that, it is done right now. You're not even going to make it out on my track with something like that. So you need to make sure that it's 2005 to compete this year. After this year, it's going to be a 2010. So keep that in mind, folks. We will be looking at helmets at all of our races to make sure that your Snell ratings are there. This is handed down to us from our insurance, so this is not going to go away. The other thing is weights. This is all the stuff that we bolt onto our cars to make us meet our minimum weight. These things must be brightly colored and they must all be double nutted. I don't care if it has a safety nut on it or anything else or a hole drilled in it with a pin through it. It still needs 2 nuts on it and to be brightly colored. So please take note of that and do it if you're adding it onto yours. Last but not least, race people, don't wreck people. That's how we make friends out there.
Wow. What was that one more time? Race people don't what?
Race people don't wreck people. That's how we make friends. And if you're not here to make friends, don't bother coming to my track.
And that was Lappin' with Lippy. And he's right. We need to make sure that you want to be well respected. That's on one of my lists of things we're going to give to you later on in the show. Mike Shorn just put up a message up there, and he says that, where is it? 2 specials are going on for the Medford area. Rogue Inn Suites offers $65 a night for the Gold Cup race, and Texas Roadhouse Steakhouse 10% off on your bill. Just show your IKF wristband. So that's pretty good. And so if those of you thinking about heading down to Medford, that's a good deal. $65 a night is cheap.
That is super cheap. Jerry Fonfera in the house. Good to see you, man. Your kid was really working it down there at Cage Cup. You got a lot of nice equipment, and that F200 of yours was really ripping. And I'm glad to see you finally showed up to the show. And Ronnie Cox, look at him.
I know, the Rocket
making an appearance. I like it.
Yeah, Rocket, if you got a minute, man, why don't you call in? Because I'd like to get your take on what happened at Evergreen.
Yeah, the Monroe deal.
So since our guest kind of didn't show up, which surprises me, but
let us know what you're up to up there.
Yeah, man. So Rocket, if you got a minute, give us a call, 503-851-3907. Actually, you know what? Until that, I'll just open it up, right? If you guys want to call in and chit-chat with us and be on the show, give us a holler, 503-851-3907, or you can call Lippy's phone at
253-307-7062.
And there you go, guys. So give us a buzz. Ronnie, if you got a minute, give us a shout out, man. I want to hear how it went up there at Evergreen. That's going to be some cool stuff. There's so many summer things going on. But, I do know that I talked with Jason Suchich. By the way, April's 1-7. Oh, yeah. Who is it? There he is. Jason Suchich. What's going on, my man?
Terry Bridges, not a damn thing.
So, right on.
How are you doing?
We're doing good here. We're hanging out, and it's a little warm up here. Oh, there's the Rocket. So call me back as soon as the Rocket gets done.
I will do it, sir.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye-bye.
The Rocket, Ronnie Cox. Are you there, Rocket? Are you there, Rocket?
I'm here.
Yeah, dude. So, man, everybody, the Rocket, Ronnie Cox, he's the Northwest Unlimited All-Star Administrator, and he's also the BK Buddha Kinzer Memorial owner. And so you took the rides up to Evergreen. How did that all come about?
Oh, dude. Well, Chris Cunningham, he's the whatever he is out there. He's like the head whatever, in charge or whatever his title is. Anyway, I got a hold of him. He used to race karts a long time ago, and we kind of talk every once in a while. And we tried to work it out last year, I think you remember, and there was a bunch of interest in it early, and then it just kind of petered out, and so we canceled it. And then, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, I called him. I heard some stuff that they were having an open practice day. And so I called him up. I said, hey, what do you think if we bring a few carts out there just to, see what it's all about? And he's like, dude, bring them out. So I called up 4 or 5 guys, and as it turned out, a few of them bailed last minute like normal. But me and Kevin Bridges went up there, and man, oh man, let me tell you.
Well, I'm watching the tape, and I mean, you guys kind of start out together, and then when you go, I mean, that thing just absolutely disappears. I mean, it gets small in a quick hurry.
Oh, dude, the video doesn't do it justice how fast you're going. I mean, our overall, when we first went there, the original plan was to run around the 5th mile, which is, I don't know, it's probably a little smaller than ORV or close to ORV size. And we did that, but the first couple practices we went around, but they didn't really have it laid out that good. I mean, the one corner was okay, and the other corner, they didn't really have it laid out. And so me and KB were sitting in the trailer, and I said, what do you think if we go do the 3/8? And I said, maybe we ought to go ask first. So we started to walk over there, and then I said, no, let's not ask, because if we ask and they say no, then I'm going to be bummed. I go, let's just go out there and go. So we did a quick gear change, and we pulled out there and just went right out on the 3/8, and they give you one lap, back and forth, warm your tires up, get some heat in them, and then and then they turn the lights on. And I mean, dude, the sad part is I had it geared for like what we run up at Skagit, you know, and that was as low as I could go. I couldn't change gears no more. And that track's actually a little bit bigger, so I was having to let off probably 20 feet before I needed to. I mean, I was really rolling out of it going into the corner just because of gearing, you know.
Well, what were you turning? What were you turning that thing?
You mean RPM wise?
Yeah.
I was right. I was letting off when I got, you know, I think 10.5 was the highest reading I got, which I don't like to go past 10. I mean, they'll go harder than that, but you know, I don't need to hurt it that much for a practice day. So we were, you know, I mean, my highest R, I think on the memory was 10.5 or something. Ooh. But I mean, our overall lap speed for the whole lap was like right at 70 miles an hour. But I guarantee you going down the straightaway, we were going a whole lot faster than that.
Well, do you think maybe those things were hitting 100 miles an hour down the chute?
Nah, I don't think we were at 100, but I would say all a 85 plus, or I mean, I don't know, but I mean, if our overall lap speed was 70, I mean, I'd say straight away we were probably
you were close to it,
so.
Yeah, or maybe even you might be surprised.
I mean, the first practice, I mean, Chris was telling us the bombers out there run 19 flat. And the first practice we went around there, me and Kate, I didn't have a deal on mine, so we were going off KBs time-wise, but he was running, you know, the bombers, you know, which are like old Camaros with 350s in them and stuff, they run like 19 flat around there. And the first practice, we were at 19.2, and then we both came in, changed a couple things setup-wise. I killed all my wing angle, and we, you know, did some air pressure stuff, and we went back out and got down to an 18.9. But there was way more left to be had. I mean, if just a simple gear change would probably knock another 3 or 4 tenths off of my time anyway.
So do you think? So how quick? I mean, let's just say in a perfect world, you'd easily be in the 17s, right?
No, I don't think we'd get going that fast. But you know, I'd say low 18s for sure. I mean, that would be from what we were running to, you know, we were in the mid to upper 18s. I mean, I don't know if we'd kill 2 seconds, but I bet we'd kill a second at least I could anyway, with a gear change and a little more. Because and you know, as much as I hate to say it, this probably sounds bad coming from me, but that place, as cool as it was, it's not very, you know, they run bombers and late models and all that stuff out there. It's not go-kart friendly, if that makes sense. I mean, there's light poles and uke tires, and all the walls are concrete. It's not very safe for go-karts. And
right.
And trust me, that goes through your head when you're ripping down the straightaway at 90 miles an hour. So I mean, I'm telling you that.
And Mike Shorn says you don't want to go too fast there, because then they might not ever ask you back.
Well, it was cool. I mean, the whole intent of the thing was just to get some carts out there and let them look at them, and you know, because you know, Monroe, everybody thinks Monroe and go-karts. Well, you go out there for their go-kart race in the barn there, and it's all a bunch of older, you know, old stuff,
right.
Straight rails. Nobody's really seen the new modern stuff, and so we, you know.
So how was the reception? I mean, what was their reaction?
It was incredible. Like? At first, everybody was just kind of looky-loo, but then, you know, when the first couple practices when we went around the small track, nobody really said much. But then when we went out one on the 3H, and we were going pretty good, and as soon as we pulled back up to the trailer, I mean, there was a handful of people the first time, and then the second time there was a bunch of people, and they're all just, man. I mean, because we're going faster than the bombers, and that's their second tier class there behind the late models. So
right, yeah, I love it. I love it because that's.
But man, it was cool. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I've driven a lot of stuff, and that's probably the fastest I've ever gone in a cart. I mean, you're just sailing down the straightaways.
Well, you know, Mike Shorn is he's a former governor of IKF here in Oregon, and he's also been a big Gold Cup supporter, been on the board and all that stuff. But we need to get him going, because you know there's no reason why there shouldn't be a Gold Cup Speedway series. I mean, I don't see why that couldn't work. I mean,
that'd be cool. Cool,
wouldn't it? Because they have a dirt coordinator that has an opening. Nobody ever fills it. I think maybe Freeborn did once, maybe, but I don't know how many years it's been, but boy, that would be cool to get the Gold Cup thing going. Maybe there'd be some crossover. I don't know, Mike. What do you're on here? Never. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think of that? You think that something might be feasible? So, I don't know. Well, shoot, Rocket. That's killer. I love it. I'm just glad that you got out there. I wanted to see it, but man, I watched the film and I was just like going, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, it was
cool, and they totally invited us back. I mean, they were going to try to work out. Chris is going to sit down and try to figure out a date, probably midsummer sometime where we could get a race. Because I told them, our UAS group is, 15 strong this summer, and if there was a bunch of them out there, that would be pretty cool. I don't know how safe it would be, but it'd be fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Shorn just put on there that who Terry Ives is. He was a big road race guru. He was when the supercarts, the 250s and all that stuff. But he said they put him on a long quarter mile on pavement, and he went a 12.3, which was the pole for the late models.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I asked Chris when we went around there, because they got a pretty sophisticated timing system and all that stuff there, and he took note right away when we got down to 19 seconds, because that's what the bombers run. And he said the late models there run like, mid-16s or something. So I don't think we could get going that fast.
Well, what about tires? Would you put the big rears on the front all the way around, or would you still keep?
Yeah, we did. I ran the same stuff, and that was kind of like we were trying to get a few more carts out there. But like KB was trying Red Vegas, and they seemed like they were a little bit too soft. I mean, his gummed up quite a bit. I was on Dunlops, and they seemed to be pretty good. They were punching like 70, and they seemed to be pretty good. I mean, they weren't gumming up too much, but
what are the Burris? What are the Burris punch? Are they soft? They're softer than 70, I'm sure.
Yeah,
not a 50.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, KB's tires were, I think, punching in the mid 50s, and I was right at 70.
I would think 70 would be where you want to be up in that area anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah,
on the asphalt.
my tires wore real nice when we went out there. I mean, we ran on the 3/8. We did two sessions, a dozen laps or so each, and my tires were really, really good. KB's gummed up pretty hard, but he was a little bit softer than I was.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I bet it was it was a rush. I'll bet it was a rush.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't quite sure what to. I mean, I've ran a big car there a couple times on that track, and some Hornets and stuff like that there, but I never ran a cart there before. It's a whole different deal when you get going that fast, sitting that low to the ground. But like I said, with all the light poles and uke tires and cement walls and stuff, it's I don't know. It wouldn't take much of a screw up for somebody to go for a helicopter ride there in a hurry.
Yeah. You wouldn't want. They'd have to make some concessions there to get things going. But
what was the G? Yeah. What was the G's like in the corner?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
So
yeah, I didn't think much. I don't know. My car was handling really good. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't notice it too much. I mean, I didn't get tired at all. No, I didn't. I mean, there was a little bit, but not any more than any other track, I didn't think.
So no helmet pull or anything like that. You were pretty much just along for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice too much. Not any more than like when we race up at Skagit. The one probably thing that caught me more, you would think on the asphalt that it would be a lot smoother, but it was actually pretty rough. Once you figure out where the dips were in the track and stuff, when you're going that fast. I noticed the next day I had a couple of bruises and
I imagine the transitions from the straightaways to the corners was probably the worst. But I noticed you guys were staying towards the bottom. Did anybody try sliding up any to?
Oh yeah. That video that he showed, that was actually our first session out there, and then I wish he would have posted the video of the second session. That was quite a bit cooler because I let him take off, and then I started running around that. That track you could run, cart wise, you could run 10 wide. I mean, it's just wider than anything and banked like crazy. So, yeah, and so I zinged it around the top, a couple times. Actually, passed him once or twice, and we the second session we were kind of just screwing around, playing back and forth. He'd pass me, I'd pass him, he'd pass me, and
sweet.
And yeah, it was pretty cool.
So what are you looking to gain out of this? Are you looking to just do some exhibition things through the summer, or are you actually thinking about trying to do something race-wise?
Well, probably a little of both. I mean, it'd be cool if we could get, the main goal is just to get the UAS carts out there in front of, because, on their Saturday night, late model races and stuff, I mean, the grandstands there, they get, 3, 4, 5,000 people.
They're full.
And, and so it'd be cool if we could just, I don't know about a series because they got plenty going on there as it is, but it would be cool if we could, at least get there one time during the year and have get 10, 12 guys, good UAS carts there and have a good race. It would get a little bit of exposure for us anyway,
That's what it's all about, exposure right there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to you, man. Great job up there, and it looked like a lot of fun. It
was.
I worry about the asphalt and, making those kind of laps under that kind of horsepower that flexing out the chassis, and this has been something that has been a topic of late. But, I was shut down on this issue from back east because, they said that most of their tracks back there turn out to be a dirt fault by the main events. So it's not actually that much different than a dirt track that's turned into a dirt fault. So,
Yeah, I was a little worried about that too with like you were just saying, with the chassis and too much flex or whatever. But I mean, Chuck was out of town. He went to the NASCAR race that weekend, so I actually was there by myself. And so I didn't really get it, I had no help as far as on the scales or changing anything around. Basically,
solo.
I was just messing with some air pressure and wing and stuff. All I could do, I couldn't even get it up on the stand by myself because I was, but I didn't notice. Like I said, we ran the same numbers that we ran, up at Skagit on the big track on the dirt, and that thing was turning as good as anything. So.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. I was a little worried about that, but after talking to people from the East Coast, they're like, no, man, we're locked down all the time. He couldn't have gotten more locked down than we are. So I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad you did it because that's what we need out here is exposure.
Hey, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking to the Rocket, Ronnie Cox, and when they took their UAS machines with the big 450 Hondas on there up to Evergreen and ran them on the 3.8s. So, man, dude, it's been real. It has been real.
Yeah, that's cool. So now we got a big change. We're leaving next Friday, going down to Cycle Land, which is a little bit smaller dirt deal down first quarter point race down in California next, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. So
awesome.
That'll be a little bit of a change, but yeah, it'll be cool.
Good deal, Rocket. Well, man, thanks for calling in, buddy. And
no problem.
I'm looking forward to that UAS race coming up into the month. So,
yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, for real. Okay, Rocket. Thanks,
all
man.
Right,
okay,
see
buddy.
You later.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Man, big shout out to Dale Schroeder in the house. Papa Blingmeister, man, used to watch his kid run quarter midgets back in the day at Oakwood, and now here he is doing the late model thing. Here we go. Jason Suchich, what's going on, man?
Hey, Bridges, not much.
So, yeah, sounds like they had a good time up there.
They did. So, hey, I just wanted to call in real quick before you got off with everybody, but I just want to put a big shout-out to everybody who came down and supported Salem this year, all the sponsors, all the racers, everybody. It's not just the officials that make a good race, but it's all the racers that contribute and help out as well. So, I just really quick wanted to take the time to thank everybody who had came down. Thank you, Terry Lippy, for all your guys' support. And, we couldn't have done it without everybody.
Yeah, nice try there on passing the buck on that one, Jason. I just got to say, out of the gate, dude, you did a great job this winter. And you can pass it on to anybody else you want to, but this was all a success because of you. And just like just a second ago with you trying to praise everybody else, I thank you for that, but dude, you really are the one that made this all work and grow this winter. So you can pass the praise on all you want, but it's right there in your own lap. You did a great job, and you made all this what it is right now, and I thank you for that, truly.
Well, and I appreciate that, coming from you guys. Again, it's my first year doing this, so I no clue what I was getting myself into. But, you know, it was everybody from yourself to Terry to, you know, Team Thornhill, Ron Starr, you know, Jim Schofield, you know, Jerry O'Hagan, you know, just coming up to me, giving me, you know, helpful advice. Not criticism, even as racers, you know. They didn't come up to yell at me during a race. They'd come up to me after the race, pull me aside, and just say, hey, you know, here's some things we noticed. It might help you out in the future. So it wasn't me. It was entirely everybody else who was there to support me, help me out, and give me, you know, positive advice. So, I mean, it's been a great year. We've done some things different for Albany. We're going to try to hit some morning races. That way people can get back down to Willamette Speedway and enjoy the evening down there. Make sure that you guys visit, you know, www.salemspeedway.wix.com with a / Salem Speedway 1. My Albany schedule is posted. The first race is on the 16th, and we'll follow that race with our awards banquet on the 17th, which will be at Pietro's Pizza. So everything will be up to date on the website, so make sure to check it out.
Right on.
Well, I thank you very much, and I was down at the Albany race with the KTs and the F200s, and that's when I first met you. I was impressed then, and I continue to be impressed. So hats off to you. Great job.
Well, thank you, and we've already got some big plans for next year at Salem that I'm going to start working on here soon. So look for some big important news for Salem next year. So it'll be a good year. We're going to continue to make it grow. We're going to try to work with the other tracks, try to get some series going between the other tracks, and try not to step on each other's schedules, and you know, just do what we can to improve the sport.
Right on. Jason Suchich.
And we thank you for that.
Absolutely. And I thank you guys again for everything you've done, and look forward to seeing you guys down in Albany.
Definitely. I know I'm looking forward to it.
I'll be there on the 30th.
Yeah, man.
Gentlemen, you have a good evening, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, before we let you guys get out of here, we promised you those 10 tips to better lap times mentally. So, with our bench racing segment, I've got 10 here. So first things first, you get to the racetrack, right? You're going to head out onto the racetrack. So many guys go out there, and they are just flat wide open right out of the gate. I don't think that's the right way. Like anything else, you got to warm up. You got to warm up the tires. You got to warm up. You got to gradually build your speed up. It lets you kind of do a mini shakedown, if you will.
Should let the motor warm up, too.
Absolutely. You should be doing that before you head on the racetrack. But still, you want to get the chains going, everything where they need to be before you go out there, you know, wide open. So, you know, a couple nice, maybe depending on how big the track is, maybe a lap, maybe 2 laps, just nice and easy, gradually picking it up. Then, you know, go for it. So anyway, focus down track. How important is that? Well,
that's a big one, actually.
You should be focusing further down the track, because your hands are naturally going to take you where your eyes are looking. So if you stare directly in front of your car, you're going to miss stuff, and you're not going to have time to react to changes either on the racetrack or right in front of you. Or
that's really a big one, and I got to stop you on this, because this is what I see a lot of our new racers do, is they focus on the bumper in front of them. And let me just tell you that you can look past the bumper in front of you. Your peripheral vision still picks up the driver in front of you, but you need to look down the track. You're going to notice him slow down, stop, turn, whatever he's going to do. But if you're looking down the track and anticipating what's happening in front of him, you're going to avoid a lot of stuff. But I see a lot of the new people just focusing on what is 1 foot in front of their bumper, and that is not going to get you anywhere but wadded up in the corner. And I'm sorry to stop you on that one.
No, that's cool. Thank you, Mike Shorn, for tuning in. Good to see you up here, buddy. Good luck down there in Medford. Number 3. and this should be simple, but it's worth repeating. Smooth is fast. Karts appreciate a gentle touch, so paying attention to how you apply the throttle and the brakes in transition is going to make a big difference. So
absolutely, I've been bitten by the brake bad man many times.
Absolutely. So just remember, be smooth. No herky jerky on the wheel. No herky jerky on the controls, and things should pick up. Number 4. Do your homework before and at the track. It doesn't end once you get there, because number 1, you've done your homework before the track, but you've never seen it. Now that you get there, and hopefully you've warmed up and done all that stuff, now you got to start paying attention to the racetrack. And the big key here is you got to know what to expect. So learning the track is the best way to improve your lap times. So take a couple of laps to memorize each turn. And, again, you're going to build your speed slowly and concentrate on finding the right racing line. If you're having trouble with that, follow the local fast guy. They know the way around.
Absolutely. Right? And the biggest thing there is, if it's in practice or whatever, continue to drive it into the corner a little bit further. See where the slide point is, when it gives up, and note that and see what's on the track that you can visually, keep track of, so you can drive it into that point each and every time. These are great points you got.
On the gas, on the brake, but never both.
I like that.
You're either on the gas or you're on the brake, but both at the same time is not good.
It's counterproductive.
It is. I mean, it's hard on clutches. It's confusing to the chassis, and because it's trying to figure out what you're doing. And am I going? Am I not? Am I not? Am I going? I mean, make up your mind. So it's just not smooth, and something should be avoided at all costs, I think.
I see it in the junior classes all the time. Foot on both pedals at the same time.
Yeah, it's just not fast. Body language. Become one with your machine. Now, in order to get the most out of your ride, it needs to be balanced, but so do you. Speed is all about balance, so if you're not comfortable in the car, or you're forced to be in a position that doesn't allow you to naturally flow with the car, you're going to be out of balance. You're not going to be fast. Take the time to fit that seat. If it takes you 3 or 4 hours to fit the seat, then so be it. But do it to where, don't just hurry that. I think fitting the seat is one of the most important things you could probably do.
Absolutely. Center of gravity here, if you want to be a contender and you want to be up front, look this stuff up. The center of gravity, as you are the largest portion of your kart, people. So where you put that mass, because think about that. From your waist up, there's a lot of weight there. And where you put that weight is a big factor on how that thing is going to get through the corner. So, yeah, this is great information there. And center of gravity is going to get you around the corner, or it's going to get you into the wall. So
exactly. You don't want to be pulling yourself up on the steering wheel, or, you want that body roll to just be natural. Roll over on the right rear, get it to go. Do it. Don't think about it. Do it. Number 7, corner speed. In, through, and exit. Or in, middle, and exit. You enter in too hot, and you can kill the rest of your corner. The same goes true if you're trying to enter too low. I see this a lot at Salem. Everybody's guarding the bottom, and they're entering down on the bottom, and there isn't going to help either. If you go in too hot, you're going to be, waiting on it, trying to gather it up to make the rest of the corner. If you go in too low, well, the top of your corner is now going to be the top of the racetrack is now going to be your middle, and you'll have turned it 3 or 4 times just to get it around there. You got to go with the natural line, which is inner wide, and then cut down and come up off it. The same goes true with pinching it down, right? You come off the corner, instead of letting it flow out and go up to the wall like it should, like it naturally wants to do. Everybody comes off the corner. They might get a good run off the corner, and then as soon as they get out of the corner, they start pulling that thing down so they can get down to the bottom to get in to the next turn. It just drives me nuts. I mean, let the thing go. Let it flow up to the wall and then keep it there. Enter a little bit later and get that good. Now, remember, these are ideal because now if somebody's all over you, then you got to do what you got to do. But you're still not going to be fast driving around the bottom. I can assure you of that. So
I just want to say that nobody should pay attention to this topic right here because this is where I make up all my time on everybody else. Corner speed is everything. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Corner speed is everything. And Mr. King, I would add your weight low because corner speed is everything. You can make up so much more on somebody that's fast down the straightaway because they are not going to be extremely fast through the corner. So corner speed is everything.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say, we don't drag race here.
Nope.
So how fast it goes down the straightaway is irrelevant. What you should be focusing on is how fast are you through the corners.
Nobody pay attention.
If you're fast through the corners, you're going to be a missile down the straightaway. It's pretty simple math. Number 8, overdriving shaves speed.
Yes, it does.
Sometimes you got to slow down to speed up, and that is tough for people. And this one, too, is also deceptive because what can actually feel fast isn't fast. You're just simply overdriving, and that's what makes it feel fast. So the watch should always be the telltale on this one. And the easiest way to tell if you're overdriving the cart is when you're sliding or skidding into the corners and the back end's wanting to try to pass the front end. That's one thing. There's a lot more, but just remember, just because it feels fast, it isn't always, and you could simply just be overdriving.
I just want to add something on 7 and 8 right here. Both of them kind of flow together, and I watched a lot of this the weekend before last down at Cage Cup, and that was a lot of our drivers would come out of the corner and want to go down the center of the straightaway instead of allowing their cart to drift all the way out to the wall, not in the wall, but to the wall, and then down the wall. And they left so much speed behind. You could literally hear their motors go as they tried to steer down to the middle of the racetrack, rather than if they would have just let it drift all the way out to the wall and carried that speed there was so much more momentum, so much more speed there, but they wouldn't do it because they wanted to be in the middle of the track to protect their position. So, there's way more speed out there if you guys just let it go.
And that's true. And typically that means, that would tell me that you're really not that fast through the middle. If you want to, from the middle out, you want to be wide open. So you gotta let that thing drift out to the wall. Otherwise, you're just you're killing it. So, number 9, be aware of your surroundings. So, as we all know, there's at every racetrack there's certain individuals, elements, we'll call them, that you should be aware of. They're just problem elements,
track hazards.
And so although it might seem obvious, know who and what is around you at all times, where the runoffs are. If the spins occurs in the same place over and over, make a mental note. Just be aware. As you negotiate the track, make sure to look ahead and be aware of your surroundings to get through the corner as safely and as quickly as possible. The life you save
could be your own.
May be your own. That is correct.
This is something that goes back to looking down the track, people. You look down the track, past the person that's in front of you, maybe past the person that's in front of that, and keep track of the people that are out there. You know the track hazards that are out there, and when you see one up in front of you that you're going to be approaching, my guess is to take the high side and guard it, and then make it work for you because you already know the track hazard's going to be low and slow in the corner. So it's beneficial for you to let the guys in front of you pile up behind that while you go by on the high side.
Wow. Imagine that. And lastly, composure. Cool, calm, and collected. Now, this may seem a little obvious, but you got to pick your battles. There are some that are worth winning, but most are not. Don't fight nonsense with nonsense. It will backfire on you almost every time. So if you get past, it's usually for a reason. You're slower. You made a mistake. So don't make 3 or 4 mistakes because you got past. Let them go. Regroup. Gather yourself. Get your rhythm back. So getting in past in turn 2, say you're on the exit, you get past off at turn 2, trying to get it all back entering turn 3, 9 times out of 10, you'll either be watching the rest of the show or you'll be so far back that you've taken yourself out of contention. Or you'll be hated to the point where people no longer respect you. So remember, it's common sense, and a lot of times that's lost in the heat of the battle, right, Lippy?
Yes, it is. I just have to say that this is a point that, everybody wants to win. But I have to say, second is way better than last. So, like he just said, so you get past. Grab your composure, get in line, hold on, and pull down second place. If you're going to let him get into your head and make your day go downhill, you will be last place and not second place. And second is way better than last.
Yeah. Composure. Bring lots of it. And let me just say, this one thing alone right here covers up a multitude of sins. And just this number 10 right here, just having that, you're going to be light years ahead of most people if you're able to keep yourself calm under those adverse conditions. So those are the 10. If you have questions on them or you don't agree with them, that's cool. I encourage you to drop me a note or go on the website, and I'm going to try to get these posted up tonight. But go on the website and let us know why. I mean, it's all right. You don't have to agree with everything on this show, and I'm sure you don't. But we're going to give you what we think is the best stuff. You can take it or leave it. We hope you take it. But, we're not going to give you anything that's going to make you slower. I can guarantee you that. We're just not that way.
Nope.
So that's really...
That's all we got.
That's all we got. So everybody, Gold Cup guys, they're heading down tomorrow, I think. Steve King, are you going down tomorrow? No, you cannot win it in the first corner. You can lose it in the first corner, but you certainly can't win it. I've never seen 20 laps go in one lap. You just can't do it. So.
No, definitely not. You're better off to try in the last lap than the first.
And Sean Carr says this best. It's not about you anyway, right? That's probably a good way to keep thinking.
Absolutely. I love that philosophy. Thank you.
Big shout out to Jason Suchich. Great job this season. Another shout out to Ronnie Cox for calling in. Scott Keeney, thanks for being in. Steve King, good luck down there in Medford, my man. Dan Watkins, what a stud.
Yeah, his carts are looking great this year.
We're going to have to put a bounty on Jason Suchich. So, I'll come up with something, and I'll post it for next week. The Northwest Race Report is going to be putting a bounty on Jason Suchich, and we'll put it on his head real big. We'll make it worth your while.
Sean Carr pulled it down last week, though.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
He did?
Oh, that's right. Okay. So he is beat. Well, maybe we don't need a bounty then on it.
I don't know. Rusty, Sean Carr, and Jason have all been podium for the last 4 weeks.
So we got to have some better top threes here. Thank you, Jerry Fonfair. Appreciate you being on the show, buddy.
Great stuff.
And, again, Gold Cuppers, good luck this weekend. Rubber side down. Be safe while you're driving down there. Tony Williamson, good to see you here, my man. Looking forward to seeing you this summer. And, again, guys, if somebody's on the low side, if they're on the bottom and they won't move,
her to the top.
Yeah, and do that in life, right? Take the top side. It's way better. God bless you guys all. See you next week.
God is good.